who joins us from Colombo. She is a constitutional and human rights lawyer. Thank you so much for sparing your time for us today here. Now, just give us some insight into how hopeful people are in Sri Lanka with this recent development of the appointment of 9 new ministers.
Well, the ministers were appointed today, and there are already questions in terms of the credibility of several of them, and that's been now highlighted because some of them face serious allegations. And also the questions of 2 particular ministers who are from the opposition party. The opposition party has now suspended their membership. So there are questions in terms of some of the members who've been appointed. But the question also remains as to the fact that there is no finance minister at the moment, at least not announced. So this is raising concern considering the fact that Sri Lanka is in an unprecedented economic crisis, but we don't seem to have a finance minister appointed.
Right, and what about these calls from protesters for the president to step down? I mean, his brother stepped down. It clearly worked there. Do you think that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa will indeed resign?
He should be resigning. He should have resigned weeks ago. I mean, the demands from the protesters have been loud and clear for several months now. That is for the president to resign and a system change. And those calls have been sustained throughout the time. I mean, even yesterday, the protest in the heart of Colombo, now it's 42 days. And their main demand is for the president to go. Unfortunately, the president doesn't seem to be listening to these demands. And so it's unfortunate it has got to this situation. Even in parliament today, opposition leaders raised this point. So I don't think the protesters are going to go home anytime because their demand has not been met. And appointing a prime minister and a cabinet is not going to distract from that main call.
And protesters have been quite resilient in recent time, fighting for their basic human rights, to have access to medicine, to have access to basic needs, put food on the table. How bad is the situation there?
So things have been bad for some time now, unfortunately, and citizens across, not just the protesters, have been really hit hard with this economic crisis. The ability to find essential items from food to medicine to gas to fuel is very extremely difficult. I mean, we see long queues to get fuel across Sri Lanka, long queues to get gas. And there's a shortage of medicine that has impacted the health sector. So it is very dire on the ground. And there is some form of assistance coming in terms of the humanitarian situation, but that's not going to be able to address all the needs of Sri Lankans. So, even the prime minister who was appointed last week said we are going in for harder times. So things are rather bleak on the ground.
All right. Constitutional and human rights lawyer Bhavani Fonseka, it was a pleasure speaking to you here today. Thank you for being with us.